Okay, guys, I went to AutoZone and checked on. I wanted to get like an electric inline fuel pump, one of those little pulsing ones. They didn't have anything like that. They had three Edelbrock ones, all high pressure pumps. So, heck, they had the original one for 20 bucks. It was $19.99 under my account plus tax. So I just said, "Well, screw it, we'll put that on there." So I got the battery on the charger. The booster charged all night, so I'm going to change this fuel pump and see if we can get this thing fired up today. All right, guys, got a new fuel pump up there. I didn't enjoy it. I don't like turning wrenches on mechanical stuff. I like sticking to the gadgets, electrical gadgets, but you got to do what you got to do. So got the battery charged up, got it in here. So let's dump some fuel in here and see if this fuel pump will pick anything up. I also replaced that fuel line between the metal line and the filter. I did not check the filter, but I'd be really surprised if that filter would be plugged up enough that this car couldn't run. So let's see what happens. Oh boy, that was a lot of gas. Put the hose down in the gas can. And push the button. Oh, here we are again. I got to turn the key on. I forget that every time. Now let's see what happens. We're getting gas because that hose right there is leaking, and I tightened that up pretty good. But I think it's going to run. I'm going to, that hose was too big. I'm going to shut it off, see if I can tighten that a little bit more. I tightened up quite a bit actually, so I'll turn the key back on. Actually, let's hook. I'm sure it's going to run now. I don't think it was just running on what was in the carburetor. It kept going for a while, so let's put that back on. See what happens if we start it with the key. I moved this car over to the driveway so I wasn't so far away from everything that I needed. Headlight doors are down. They go right up as soon as you shut it off. Looks like it stopped leaking. So, let's see if we can accelerate it any without falling off the trailer. Man, there's stuff flying in my eyes. Sure is running rough now. It's missing pretty bad. I did check the oil and water too, by the way. Don't sound too bad. It doesn't sound like it's missing back here, but it seems like it's running rough up there. Now there's a little bit of spitting. Well, it actually doesn't run too bad now. Let's see if we got forward and reverse. It is still strapped down. Have very little brake. Went in drive. Went in reverse. Well, I guess we could get it off the trailer. I gotta shut that thing up again with my foot. It's coming out of its roughness. It's pretty smooth right now, actually. A lot better. Let's watch the headlight doors go up as soon as we shut it off. Yeah, they're up already. That big of a leak, though, for the headlights could be just something as simple as this check valve right here. Am I on it? Yeah. It could be something just that simple right there, since it leaks so fast. All right, let me get these tools and all this crap picked up, and maybe we'll see if we could get it off the trailer. Okay, we're going to see if we get this thing off here. I'm not going to set the e-brake on the truck because the last time I did, a caliper tried to hang up on me, and I don't want to deal with that right now. I'm going to yank this fender skirt off real quick, since that tire is so flat and off the rim. And hopefully we got brakes to stop, if it even starts back up again. But I think it will. So let's see what happens. That tire's a little low too. I think I got those ramps angled in the right direction. That rim really came off. or the tire really came off the rim. I mean, it was already off. There's no way I could get it to take air. I didn't really want to change it on here and jack up the wood. So we got to do something about a spare. So I guess we'll see if the one in the trunk has any air in it. Well, the spare was flat, but it took air, so that's what we're going to put on it. These is pretty rusty, so I sprayed them down. Kid's duct tape came off. Not going to want me in NASCAR. Let's see if we can get this back on without fighting it. We'll do the Adam trick. Or not. I usually have pretty good luck with my hands and hubcaps. These fender skirts got bubbles all along the bottom, plus this one's got a crease. And this seal's keeping it from here, I think. Okay. We're riding on air again. I'm going to put some air in that front tire there. And I'd like to take it down the road, but can't very well do that with a gas can sitting there like that. So I don't know. I don't think I want to try putting gas in the tank, especially without putting a big fuel filter, maybe before even the fuel pump. So we know it runs, we know it goes forward and backwards, and somewhat has brakes. So you guys hear that noise? Something making a hell of a racket in the trunk. Hell. I don't know, I can't figure out what that is. Does anybody want a Toyota Camry? It's for sale. It's not mine. But I need to get it out of here. 2014 with 82,000 miles. Sounds like something's hitting inside this quarter panel when you're moving, but maybe it's this stuff dragging the road or something. I mean, I guess we can get rid of it. Don't belong on there anyway. Let's see if that got rid of it. I don't know. Maybe it did. I guess it was that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe put some gas in this thing and make sure it don't leak and see if it runs off the tank. Because I mean, the gas gauge is trying to go up, so clearly there's still a little bit of gas in it. I don't know. We'll get back to this tomorrow. It's getting dark. Okay, guys. This was last Saturday, actually, when we got the car running, and now it is the next Saturday because I was swamped all week and mowing all week and all that, and it was my birthday week, so it got pretty crazy around here. So let's get back on this car. I think that we are going to hook up the fuel line to the gas tank and dump some gas in it and see if it'll pick it up. And I also want to address this hideaway headlight thing. I can't stand that when you shut the car off and they immediately go up. So we're going to pull it around underneath the shade tree, but I've moved this a couple times this week to mow and get out of the way and do things. So I want to show you guys how easy it starts up now. It runs really good. And we're going to do a whole nother video on parting out vehicles. There goes somebody to the lake fishing. And some guy made a comment on that last video, like, put some gas in the carburetor. I'm not sure what he thought I was putting in there, whether he thought it was water or what. We're going to drive this around back to a shade tree where it's cool and breezy since the shops are full. But it has not been started since yesterday when I moved it to mow, so let's show you guys how easy this thing starts up now. If I can get the keys. Look at that, choke's working and everything. See, we've got, I mean, the gas gauge is trying to go up, so we're going to put some fuel in it and see if it'll pick it up. I'm also going to put a fuel filter in line there before the fuel pump, a clear one, so we can see what comes through there. It got pretty hot today. It's supposed to be 90 tomorrow and the next day. And I think it's awful close to that today. gonna go right over here in the shade. I got the tripod set up there so I can show you guys, which you've already seen it anyway, but we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna address these headlights. I drug that truck there home too, because I got it for scrap price. We got to do something with that, but so watch when I shut the car off. I really believe that's that vacuum check valve, and I found 3 of them so far laying in the shop, so we're going to try one. Just lay these 2 right there. I'll lay this one here. Three hoses. Let's see if this makes a difference. Okay. Look at that, the very first one I grabbed. That don't mean they're going to stay down, you know, overnight or anything like that, but they're down pretty tight now, so that was the culprit right there. If you shut your car off and your hideaway headlights immediately go back up, this is always the first thing to go to, is this check valve. So this one, I'm just going to throw, actually I'm going to throw it in the back of this truck. And I still don't know about these 2, so I'm going to put them back in my pocket. I don't think I would have kept them if they were bad. So now I'm going to go get a couple clamps and some tools. And we're going to put, I don't know if you guys see it or not. I'm going to put a clear, big fuel filter between the gas tank line and the fuel pump. And I'm going to dump maybe a gallon of gas in a gas tank. I'm not going to fill it up a bunch in case for some reason the pickup tubes rotted off or something. There's no sense in wasting all that fuel. So it'll pick up a gallon, I know that. So let me get this filter on there. We'll put some gas in it and we'll see if it runs off the tank. And if it does, I'll dump a little bit more gas in it and maybe we'll go down the road. All right, we got the fuel filter on. Let's dump some gas in here. I'm carrying this camera around the tripod. Oh, oops. So it's fresh gas. I just got it today. We'll look at the gauge, see if it goes up anymore. It probably will. Think that's a gallon? Probably. Well, somehow I still got it on my hands. Let's see if it moved the gauge anymore. It sure didn't move it much, if any. But I think that should be enough to pick it up if it's going to. All right. So there should still be quite a bit of fuel in the bowl. I'm going to hook this up to the starter again so we can go under the car and watch and see if it comes through the filter. I'm going to put this down through here so I know I got enough room or enough length, I mean, to get a hold of it. Now look, this time I'm not going to forget to, I forgot to shut this, but I'm not going to forget to turn the key on. Lights are still down too. Tight. Very tight. So far the vacuum's holding very good. All right. Let's get our hands on this thing. Let me get a light ready to shine on this. See if I can hold the camera and the light at the same time. And I'm going to push this button. The car should start right up since it's got gas in the bowl, but does it have enough to pick it up from the tank? We'll see. Nothing yet. Still nothing. I would really think it would be picking it up by now. It's running out of gas. Well, I don't know. I'm surprised it's still running. Stump a little bit more in it before it runs out. I don't know. I was afraid of that. As long as it's set, that pickup tube may be rotted off. I hate wasting fuel. I've got plenty of these cars to pick up fuel on a gallon of gas. And this was 5 gallons. I just put it in here today. And there may be a gallon and a half, 2 gallons left. So we're not putting any more in it if it doesn't pick it up this time. Hey, there is some gas in the filter now. Of course, it could have just ran out of the pump. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. We are getting fuel. Oh, look at that. We just got a bunch, and there's a lot of crap in it. Well, not picking it up too good, but it is picking it up. A lot of rust in there already. We're getting spurts of it. That's a little cleaner. I don't know, can you guys see that rust? That's all a bunch of rust already right there. Alright. Not sure if it's picking it up good enough, but let's get this back up through here. Battery hold down. Setting this stuff on this truck for the time being. Let's see if the fuel gauge moved anymore. Actually, I believe it did. I think we will try to take it down the road, but I did check this water when it was up on the trailer, sitting down, but I'm going to make sure and top it off before we go down the road. So let me go get a little bit. All right, it took very little water, maybe a quart. Well, look at this fuel filter again. Starts right up just like my black car. Well, I guess we could try taking it down the road and see what happens. I'm not going very far, I can tell you that. See if it shifts anyway. We are now running off of the fuel tank. We're not getting on it very hard either because I don't want to suck a bunch of stuff up in there and be stuck on the road. I think that fuel gauge should have went up a little bit more than that, honestly. I've had a bunch of these cars. Okay, first gear. Second gear. Third gear. Sure does look weird without a hood ornament. I need this wheel tilted down. I hate to tell you guys this too, but these brakes have freed up and they're working pretty good. There sure is a creek over there. Boy, this steering wheel cover's sticky. It feels like an old Chevette. There's a truck wanting to get around me awful bad, and I'm going to let it. Uh-oh, it died. Crap, I may have to call somebody. We're out of fuel already, or the fuel filter is plugged. We're going to find the nearest place to turn around on a field road here, if we can. Oh man, I'm going to have to call somebody to come pull me back. It ain't gonna run. Okay. Let me call my neighbor and tell him to grab the tow rope out of my truck. Come get me. Okay, here we sat. We dumped at least 4 gallons of gas in this gas tank, and it was picking it up, and I never got on it at all. And it is not picking up anything. The filter down there is dry, so I've got my neighbor. I told him to just come and get me, and then I'll go back home and I'll get that gas can and the longer fuel line, and I'll just probably run it back home on that gas can. I'll go backwards all the way home or something. I'll figure it out, but he'll be here in a little bit because he lives right over there in that tan house across the field, and there's my place. So all he's got to do is pull out of there, come down the road, so it won't take long. But now we know that the fuel tank has to be dropped, which I'm not doing it. Another reason that to me this is a parts car, and we're going to do a whole nother video on that. But anyway, we got to get this thing home first. Good thing is headlights are staying down great. These headlight components will make somebody awesome parts. Okay, Jeff, my neighbor, has got me. We're going to go back and we're going to hook it up on a gas can like it was before so I can get home. All right, we got it hooked back up here on the gas can, so I'm going to see if it'll start and pick that up without dumping gas in the carburetor. Oh, let's see. It shouldn't take much. Now that we know we got a new fuel pump. Okay, maybe we will dump some gas in the carburetor. I guess we're gonna dump some gas in the carburetor.
Why don't you dump some gas in the carburetor?
Fun stuff. Stupid choke's shut though. That shouldn't be.
Well, isn't that a fuel filter?
As warm as it is. Yeah, that's a fuel filter, but
It could get
it was fine. So yeah, but that's why I put this one down here. You know,
right
before it got to that, and I put a clear one on it, so and it sucked a bunch of rust up in it right off the bat. So I don't think it's plugged. I think it's just not picking it up from the. Here, hold this, please. Don't get your fingers in front of that.
All right.
I'm gonna. I mean, I just don't think it's picking it up from the gas tank. Last thing we want's a fire. Let's see.
If we brought my truck, I have a fire extinguisher in it.
I'm going to back home, and I'm going to have you just, you know, you won't be far behind.
All right.
So,
I'm gonna go up, turn around like.
yeah, I'm going to go backwards. Here comes the car. Flashers work. Okay, we are going to back this way, slowly. I'm pretty sure there's enough gas in that can to get me back home. And I can't see anything in front of me, so I don't know if there's a car coming or not. I'm actually using the mirror, even though these mirrors suck. So now we know that the gas tank, something's like the pickup tubes rotted off or something, because this thing should have definitely ran on, I don't know, 4 gallons of gas. I'm pretty sure that we dumped in there. And here comes Jeff in my truck. Huh, runs really good on a gas can. We'll get back down here underneath the shade tree. I agree with that one comment. This buzzer is annoying. Okay, back in a bit. Alright guys, so Jeff rescued me. He actually stayed here and talked quite a while, so I haven't moved the car. I don't know how long it's been, but headlight doors are still down. I'm going to put this car somewhere where I don't have to mow, probably over there on that concrete next to the Lincoln that we drug home from Tracy's. So some of you guys keep telling me this car's worth saving. You know, I've probably had more of these cars than anybody. And oh, we got a Cadillac to talk about too. It's not mine. Buck Henry, you stay off the car. I'm no stranger to these cars. Come September 2nd, I'll have this car right here 30 years. And let me tell you something. 20 years ago, I paid $350 for this. You want to see the one on this car? Plastic fell out of every single one of them. They're gone. There's so many people looking for that emblem and they don't have it. So now, you know, it's dropped the gas tank, definitely cleaned the gas tank out. Likely a new sending unit, if you can find one, or send this one off and have it rebuilt. Hold on a second, let me look at something. This is the trip that it took to go get this thing, not counting the time to load it. The asking price of the car was $2,700. I got down there. The car was sitting up on blocks. All the tires were flat. And, you know, there was no way I could see if it run. I knew nothing about it. There was no battery in it. I didn't take a battery. And I talked him down to $1,500. That's what I paid for the car. I've got a buddy in Detroit that has a beautiful station wagon that needs the bottoms of the doors fixed. I mean, you guys think these cars are worth so much money, it seems. Well, most of you get it. A lot of you don't. Which reminds me, I want to take you in and I want to show you some other stuff. So let me see if I can get this set up in front of the computer and figure something out. Okay, I'm not the best at figuring out computers and stuff like that, but okay, let's just look at a few things that I'm watching here. Here is a 78 LTD. What did they want? What's the asking price? $3,500. You know, if you look on your phone, it tells you when it was listed, and it doesn't look like it does on a desktop here, but they're asking $3,500 for this car. Just a plain Jane 4-door LTD, no options. And I mean, good God, it's got Vogue tires. What is it with people in Vogue tires? I don't get it. Not going to happen. Now look at this. This car is close to me, just like the one that I got out there in the garage. But look at all of the freaking rust down along the bottom of it and up over the fender skirt. This is very close to me, like probably an hour away at the most. They're asking $8,100 for it. It was more than that. They've dropped it now, but this has been on the here probably 6 months. Nobody's buying this car. It's a 400. Does have leather. It's got stuff stuck all over the dash, like Velcro, where it had a dash cover on it at one time. Not going to happen. Here's a 78. They're asking $7,000 for this car. Man, it drives me nuts because when I'm looking at these on my phone and I'm saving them, it actually tells me how long it's been listed. You see how long these things just sit there. This is a Marquis Brougham. Does not have the bumper protection group. No cornering lamps. Let's see, did it have fender skirts? Yeah, it had them, but they're not on it. No power windows, no power locks, just the base interior like the wagon. Bench seat. So honestly, this isn't even a Marquis Brougham. 99,000 miles. It has no tilt, no cruise, no delay wipers, no nothing. AM, FM radio. And look, somebody's put a right-hand mirror on it, but it doesn't have the control, so it's just an add-on. It's not a remote mirror. It's got the chrome running across the top of the fenders like a Marquis Brougham, so power windows were standard in the Brougham, and this car doesn't have it. So I don't know what's going on with this car. Look, it doesn't even have a vinyl roof. Asking $7,000 for it. Oh, this one says listed 30 weeks ago in South Carolina. Do they all say that? Let's see what this one says. Yeah, this does. It does say up here. This says listed 10 weeks ago, but honestly, it's been on there way longer than that. This LTD listed a year ago in Atlanta, Georgia, for $3,500. People aren't buying them. 77 Mercury Grand Marquis, $5,500, listed a year ago in Huntington, Indiana. If you guys think these cars are so great and so sought after, here they are. Go get them. This one's sitting out in the weeds. Paint's completely burned off the hood. How long's it been sitting there? What all is wrong with it? It's been on there for $5,500 for over a year. Look at this thing. When I was looking for carpet, when I finally found this car, and this is a two-door, it wouldn't have worked anyway. I'm like, oh, check this out, a green car. Listed 7 weeks ago in Winchester, Kentucky, $1,800. But look at that. Paint's burned off of it. Look at that. The signal the signal's completely busted out of it. Rust in the bumpers. Oh, what did I just do? Look at the carpet. There is no carpet, and they've got a hole cut in the floor for a floor shift. I don't know what I keep hitting. I mean, I'm looking for a set of true spokes for that LTD. That's what I really want. Now, right here, this car right here, this car, I can't figure out why it's still there. If you want a Mercury, look, go get this one. And this is the second video. This says listed 2 weeks ago, but I promise you it's been on here way longer than that. It says $5,000. And this is a Marquis Brougham with a freaking moonroof. Triple red. This car's got illuminated entry, cornering lamps, aluminum wheels, the bumper protection group. It's got dual power seats. Why letter tires? I don't get it. See there? Let's see. On this is the second time this guy has listed this on here. It was on here before, and it had a better video where it actually did show it had dual power seats, but the vinyl top is ripped completely off of it. Bumper's all rusty. But I mean, a two-door moonroof car, I got one out there in the shed. Is it worth anything? No. But I mean, if you want a cool Mercury. However, this car does say sold with the bill of sale. So does that mean it does not have a title? That's what me and my Mercury friends assume, that it doesn't have a title. Yeah, right here, bill of sale, tag receipt. We just assume that means it doesn't have a title. That's probably why it's still sitting there. But if you live in a state that it's easy to get a title, where in Illinois it's not, it's basically a paperweight. Here's a 77 Grand Marquis. Look at that. $23,500. They're dreaming. It says it's only got 4,000 miles on it. Does it? You know, I don't know. You know, I guess it's possible because look at that red insert in the trunk lock cover. Maybe this is really a 4,000 mile original car. Is it going to sell for $23,500? I doubt it. From the looks of the steering wheel, it really is. That's a very nice car. Am I spending that on it? No. These four-door sedans just don't bring that kind of money. $460. I do believe we have found a 4,000 original mile car. If you really want one of these and you don't want to have to do a bunch to it, spend $23,500. They'll probably take 20. I don't know. But there you go. I just wanted to show you guys. I watch these all the time. They sit out there. Nobody's buying them. I don't care what price they are. All right. So this is the car that I really would have liked to gotten my hands on because it's got leather with the two-tone green interior. And see, if you got leather, there is no ornamentation on the seat saying whether it's a Mercury or an LTD Landau. But this car is out in Massachusetts. It's listed for $54.99, $5,500, and it's clear out on the East Coast. It says it has 101,000 miles, and it's a very weird car because look, it's got power windows, power locks, it's got tilt, it's got cruise. It's got leather, like I said. But look, the seats need to be completely restored. That would cost a fortune. But this is the seats. I would love to have these seats over the Brougham or the LTD Landau seats. And look, no air conditioning. Oh yeah, it does not have cruise. It's got tilt, but it don't have cruise. But the craziest thing is a Grand Marquis with leather and all these options and no air conditioning. $5,500, and it says listed 44 weeks ago. This is the interior that I would really love to get my hands on, if anybody knows where it's at, but it's got to be in good shape. You can't afford, well, I don't want to pay to have this leather restored. I just don't want to. So there you go. There's another one that's been on there 44 weeks for $5,500. They just simply don't bring anything. That's my point. I just wanted to show you guys some of these. There's plenty of them out there. If you really want one, and if you think they're worth so much money, go get one. All right, so we're back out here. I'm basically just trying to prove a point to you guys. Not every car can be saved. How many of you have this master window switch that doesn't have a broken window lock switch? I do, yes, but how many other people do? Do you have a dash pad that's not cracked? You're not going to take this and win anything at the car shows with it. I've looked and looked and looked. Sorry, buzzer complainer, I'll get it out of there. Station wagons are through the roof right now. And those of you that have been following my channel, you know that I'm trying to build the country squire of my dreams. And I've looked everywhere to try to find the carpet. This was a really bad weak spot in the carpet for these cars. And nobody makes carpet. I've got samples from 3 different places, and they all come from the same place. I think it's ACC carpet or something like that. It's not the right color. It's not the right material. It's not the right heel pad. I highly doubt if it fits right. I've had people comment, say, go get house carpet. I'm not doing that. I want it to be original Ford. I'm trying to give that car the Landau luxury group. I had one guy speak up, just basically telling me I was an idiot for putting this interior, because this is the only difference, this Marquis emblem in this Mercury versus the Ford. It had a different design in the Landau luxury group. But I can always look later and find it. And then I got people wanting to, well, how are you going to put the back seat in it? Well, in a station wagon, it will go to an upholstery shop. I'm sure they can figure it out. If they can't, then we'll look at other options. But I saw this. I wanted it. I went and got it. It's mine. And I'm going to do with it what I want. I just showed you all of those on Marketplace. They're everywhere. You know, and that's just not very far from here. You can search all these places. If you really want one of these, go get one. But look what they're asking for them, and they're just sitting there. Are you going to pay that? Like I said, this guy was asking $2,700. When I got down there, it was sitting on blocks. I just didn't see $2,700 sitting there. So I've already got all the time and the fuel and going to getting it, all the time trying to figure out to get it running. I got $20 in a fuel pump. Is that much? No, but it needs tires. They're all weather cracked to beat hell. What are you going to spend for white wall tires if you can find them in the right size? I say a minimum $500-600. I promise you aren't going to find one of these. This is nowhere near the correct radio antenna that came on this car, and that's all pitted up. The rubber's gone. When they painted this car, you can't see this in here. You can't see it on camera, but they just painted over all of the rock chips. Nothing was sanded, nothing was filled. There's just all these chips are just painted over. The engine compartment's a mess. You wouldn't want to open this at a car show. This thing just simply crumbled, which is not good in mine, but you can't find those either. My point is, they don't make parts for these cars. And when you've got one that looks like this, a two-door that you've had for 30 years, it actually has sentimental value. And look, ever since I got this car, it's had a dent right here in this bumper. Now, if I part this out, I've got the interior that I want, especially the carpet. I would have paid $500 just to get the right carpet. This bumper doesn't have any dents in it, but it's got some surface rust right here. But this bumper could be taken off, taken down to St. Louis and be re-chromed, and I've got a perfect bumper to put on my two-door that I've had 30 years. So I'm just trying to make you guys understand how much money do you want to put in a four-door sedan car that only a handful of people are even given a second look? I'm not dropping a tank and cleaning that out and spending the money on a sending unit, whatever it costs, to have it repaired or find a new old stock one or whatever it takes. I'm just not doing it. So I'm going to park it right over there. Something I am going to do in my next video, I believe, and I may do that tomorrow, since this car is so loaded with options, except it doesn't have intermittent windshield wipers. See how it just has off, low, high? Well, when I bought this black car, it didn't have that option either. It also did not have illuminated entry, and I added that. You see here? Off, int, low, high. I added the intermittent windshield wipers to this car, and I'm going to do a video on showing you guys how to add that to this car. So if you do have a nice one and you're wanting to do that, I'm going to show you how simple it is to add that option. So I'm going to get this thing parked over here on the concrete, get this gas can out of it. At least now I know that I can just open the hood, set a gas can in here and start it up, move it wherever I need to move it. And we're going to watch and see how long these headlight doors stay down. If they're down in the morning, that'd be great. So once again, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope I didn't get too mean about this part out. I'm having a really hard time understanding where you guys are getting the value of these cars. You need to just watch them like I do. So you've seen just those few that I just brought up last night. Pretty close. Well, one was in New York. I think that wasn't close. But anyway, they're sitting everywhere if you want one. And this car is going to help keep other much nicer, desirable cars on the road. So I know that most of you get it. I do get that from the comments, that most of you really do get it, but some of the comments really just blow my mind. Anyway, please stay tuned. I really appreciate you watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.